How's it going, Internet Land? Zachamus Prime, aka Zachamus Prime, here with another Transformers video review for you. Today, the figure we're looking at is actually kind of a treat. This is on loan to me from a buddy of mine. This is the Generation Selects, I believe it was, Shattered Glass Starscream. And he is in the deco of Jetfire. And I like, one of the things I liked about the Shattered Glass is how they have, like, you know, certain characters, Autobots and Decepticons, have the like decos of the other, like their analogs on the other side. And so here is the heroic Decepticon Starscream, and he's in a paint scheme reminiscent of Jetfire. And you know what? I may need to pick one of these up. I'm a huge fan of Jetfire, and this figure just kind of hits all those nice spots in my brain pretty well. So I don't know, I might have to do it. But anyhow, in terms of accessories, he comes with a few accessories. He comes with stand up. Again, I mean, he's just like wants to wobble a bit. There we go. So he comes with his null rays, of course. These are exactly the same as we saw in the Siege Starscream. They will plug into his arms, or of course he can hold them in his hands if you want to, but honestly, who wants to do that? He's going to hold them on his shoulders, just like any self-respecting seeker would. And then he also comes with a pair of these swords. These swords are really cool looking. You've got one with the longer handle, ones with the shorter handle. And you can plug them into his hands. And they look really cool, molded in this transparent blue plastic, and then painted with a bit of red on the hilts. They look really good, which is especially great because, of course, you've got wrist posability for this figure, so you can get a lot of good, expressive, you know, like action-y poses out of it. But another thing you can do with these swords is, if you disconnect them, you can take them and you can plug them into each other, like so. And then you can take that and plug it in. That's why one handle is longer than the other, so that he can hold that handle and have them both like a big sword in one hand. And that looks good as well. It's cool to have the idea of a sword that like splits into two swords is like super cool. Kind of gives me some like Final Fantasy Advent Children vibes, just a little bit, just the tiniest bit. But anyhow, let's look at his articulation. Aside from this weapon here, this is straight up just a repaint of the Siege Starscream, which I reviewed like years ago. So I'm not going to go into great depth because we've all kind of seen these Siege Seekers before. But I will quickly go over it because it's been years. His head is on a ball joint, goes up and down ever so slightly, side to side just a smidge, goes around just fine. Bit of oh no, they painted over his eyes. I was going to say he's got the light piping on his eyes. He's got the clear blue plastic back there. But they definitely painted over the front, so not really going to get any light piping back there. You can move the wings out of the way. Wings go forward and back, and then you've got some motion on them this way. So it's cool because you can get this like characteristic, you know, cut to the wings by tilting them up a bit. But if you move him out of the way, you can get his arm to go all the way around without any kind of restrictions. Arm goes out. For the full tree pose, he's got an upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbow for the full range of motion. He's got a wrist swivel. His wrist swivel is stiffer than his transformation box here on the forearm. So you kind of got to hold that when you're putting it outwards, otherwise it's just going to open up. He comes with a waist joint, which is, I mean, it doesn't go like all the way around or anything like that, but like it's definitely all you need. Leg goes forward that much, goes backwards that much, goes out for the full Van Damme. You got an upper bicep swivel. You got a single joint at the knee, but you get the full range. So that's nice. Toe tilt, not really any of it up, forward, or back. but you do get a little bit of rocker. I also like these little spring-loaded panels that kind of like in when you move his leg or transform it. But yeah, all in all, this is a great looking figure. It's almost kind of a shame that the Shattered Glass Jetfire goes for this like weird like black and green deco instead of like a Starscream gray and blue and red deco. That would have been cool. But anyhow, let's get him transformed up. First thing we're going to do is we're going to pull these off. And then we're going to... I remember this guy having this like weird thing where like he was all like all jet on the back and all robot on the front. So what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect. There's these tabs that hold these into place. Bring those out and around. This panel here is going to come up. There's a tab on it, and then there's a slot on the back of his head. It's going to plug into that slot, and then you can take this head and fold it around, well, as you need to. I'm not sure it's quite ready for that quite yet. Well, I'm not going to worry about it. Jeez. Tab these together. Disconnect this guy. Oh, it's a stiff tab today. Now his chest is going to... Let's see if I can do this without popping off. Hey, I did it without popping it off. I bet you this is what that head was waiting for, wasn't it? Yep, must have been. So real quickly, let's open this up, turn his hands inside, fold this up on that double joint and plug it back together. It's going to fold up his wrist and his arm into a fairly small little box. Do the same for the other side. Open this up, bring that wrist around, collapse on that double joint, and then close this back up. These are going to come around, but we're also going to take and rotate these wrists. Oh, how do I want to do this? Yeah, I'm not going to rotate those shoulders. We're just going to leave it like this. Except I did want to rotate the waist. Close up the toes. Rotate them all the way back. Oh, here's what I'm missing. There's this tab right here on the back side of the leg. And that tab goes into a slot on his ass. And then you've got these two slots here and these two tabs. And that's going to go in like so. You know, I transformed this just the other day, and I've already forgotten how to do it again. So it's all about intuition when it comes to Transformers, I'll be honest with you. And we're going to take this, plug that in together, make sure that these panels tuck over those wing bits. Those wing bits, which, by the way, there's these slots right here and these tabs right here. Those tabs are going to plug into those slots, which will give you all the leverage you need to make sure that these wings stay in place. And then this is going to pop up and fit into there. Just kind of hang out on the back, which I always thought looked weird, but it's just a known quirk of the Seeker mold at this point. And then his null rays, you can take and you can plug them in here, or you can plug them in here, or you can plug them in here. And of those, if you're super clever, you know, of those I like to plug them in here. But now that we've got these weapons as well, what I like to do with them is take them and plug them in here. And then that still gives me room to put this null ray in beside it. So let's do that for the other side as well. And there he is in his vehicle mode, and this is basically everything you expect from the Siege Seeker mold, just done up in this really nice white and red Jetfire deco. I don't know, I really like that. A little bit of transparent blue for the window, some nice red paint on here. I love the red Decepticon symbols, always looks a little bit bizarre, which is part of why I like Shattered Glass. It's just a little bit bizarre. But anyhow, that's all I've got for this review. There's not really a whole lot more to look at on this. I'm not sure exactly what the aftermarket is for one of these Generation Selects. I know that they were intended to be like a limited edition, you know, specialty item. So the aftermarket for them could have gone up quite a bit. I don't know if it's still available from like Hasbro Pulse or whatnot. But yeah, if you're a big fan of Jetfire and you like the Shattered Glass series, definitely look this guy up. But anyhow, that's all for me today. Everybody, thank you for watching. You guys are fantastic. Everybody stay awesome and be good to each other. I will talk to you later. See ya.